So we started the year with learning how to read notes, learning how to read rhythms, how to be a community, how to build a culture where we can all work together and support each other as we learn something brand new. And here a few months later, they're exhibiting a variety of skills. What you just heard was arco, the use of the bow, as well as a variety of notes with the first and second finger. When we play Merrily We Roll Along, you're also going to hear a crisscross into open A as well as a fast four note lift. This is Merrily We Roll Along. You'll hear slow and long bow strokes. This is a legato bow. And we use this to help soften the knuckles, the thumb, and the pinky to make a smooth bow. This is a more advanced bowing technique, and you'll hear it as they use the entire bow from frog to tip. Comfortable doing one bow per note. We're going to learn a new skill called a slur, and that's when we do multiple notes in one bow. So now their right arm has to go one speed in one linear dimension, and their left hand has to go a different speed in a different linear dimension. It takes a lot of coordination and a lot of practice, and this next song features two note slurs. This is Waterfall. Long ago. It continues to feature two-note slurs, but as we learn a musical language and all the different symbology that goes along with it, we have to recognize slight differences. So we have two-note slurs which look very similar to ties. Ties connect two notes to make them longer, and slurs connect different notes. The long ago features a combination of slurs and ties, as well as a multitude of lifts. So notice how hard the students have worked to coordinate all of those lifts, feeling rhythm in their body as they read music and play with one another on stage. This is Long, Long Ago. Part of the beginning orchestra, we have a method book called Strictly Strings. It has 37 pages in it. We worked through this book and finished it in mid-February, and then we moved on to a second book called Super Stringer, as well as Suzuki Book 1. They're currently now on page 22 as they feature a different time signature. Instead of counting 4 beats per measure, we now count 3 beats per measure. We play the entirety of the D major scale, all the notes on the D and A string, as well as now 3 note slurs. This is French folk song. book is part of what we do to get ready for the second level orchestra, the Indigo Orchestra. Here at Castillero, we have 4 levels: beginning, Indigo, double O, and chamber. That way we have a level that fits the needs of every kid here on campus. By default, after a year of beginning orchestra, they get put into the Indigo Orchestra, of course by choice, and that second-year orchestra plays later tonight. For any of the audience members that's interested to see what the other orchestras sound like, you're welcome to come to the 7:30 show. But if you look around, you can see why we have 2 concerts. It's quite crowded, and we're so glad that you're here in support. But if you're interested in those older orchestras, they will be performing tonight, and you'll also get to see them in concert January 28th. On January 28th, the Indigo Double O Chamber Orchestra will be joined on stage by Dr. Ariana Kim, professor of violin at Cornell University and internationally acclaimed violinist, as well as artist Lena Sternberg from Houston, Texas, Marcelo Mira, Brian Bensing, Daniel Murguia, VDB, Nina Hahn, professional musicians from around the Bay Area that play in orchestras throughout San Francisco, Oakland, and San Jose. And they'll be collaborating and performing right here in our neighborhood at Venture Church. We'll be selling 800 tickets, and the beginners will be giving information for that on Monday. Hey, audience, on what day?
Monday.
Yeah, Monday, just like the white envelope. We're going to send something home on a Monday. So when they come home that day, you say, hey, do you have anything for me? If they say no, you'll remember this conversation. So on Monday, they're going to come home with a packet, and we're hoping to have the beginning orchestra there in attendance to get to see and watch the older students and inspire them to continue their great practicing as they work through the program here at Castillero. Our next selection features some new techniques. The violins and the violas have not used their pinky yet, and that's a new skill. It's a challenging skill because you have to have a lot of excellent posture in the left hand. The pinky, since it's on the edge of the hand, doesn't have as much natural weight and strength, although it has plenty of strength by design. It's awkward on the violin and viola, so we wait until the second month of playing before we utilize it. You'll see definitely 4th finger A's, and then you see the cellos and the basses. Since their instruments are so much bigger, they're already using their 4th finger, and they have to do a technique called shifting. They now have to move to a new place on the instrument and make sure they're still playing accurately. The next 2 selections that we're going to play without a break are Lightning Row and Still Falling Down After All These Years, London Bridge. We're going to do another 2-for-1 special. We're playing 2 pieces in a row, Baba Black Sheep and German folk song. As we go deeper into the book now on page 24, we start to learn more rhythmic divisions. You know, full notes, bottom half notes, quarter notes, and now we're adding the rhythm 8 notes, which is dividing the beat in half. Not only do they have to start doing some mental math as they count and read music, they also have to manage new techniques for a go on. With long notes, they can manage a lot of it with their shoulder initially, and then we work towards the elbow and then the wrist at the finger. For the smaller, faster notes, you'll notice that it's the smaller parts of their arm, their elbow and their wrist, that allow them to play all these fast 8 notes. This is Baba Black Sheep and German folk song. acknowledge and recognize all the wonderful TAs that we have for this class. We have something really special here at Castillero. In addition to having multiple levels for the students, we also have the opportunity of 8th grade TAs, teachers assistants. And these aren't folks that are just filing papers. These are people that are doing hands-on teaching and inspiring their kids every day. The first few weeks are exhausted because they have to be on their feet managing so many different things, and then they grow incredible endurance and a huge support system. So I want to make sure that we have all of our TAs stand up. You'll see their names in the program, and if all the beginners would get a rousing round of applause and recognition to the TA and support system. Always wonderful and a little bit bittersweet. The second semester, they're not with us. They move on to science, but then we have a new set of TAs. They get to learn how to support and encourage students. They've done a huge amount of work, and they can do so many new skills. And they have, whether it's soft leadership skills, how to help a kid redirect, how to help a student learn a new technique, how to tune an instrument, how to fix an instrument, how to manage energy as it flows here on our middle school campus. So it's wonderful to have them. I'm really proud of them. I'm very grateful and thankful that we had them. I always want to make sure before we play the final piece here for the beginners, that once again I want to remind you that we're currently on page 25. The book goes to page 37, and the students know this. They have the list of all of the assessments for second semester. And for the kids who want to work ahead and push themselves, they just can't stop practicing. We are able to navigate and support and maneuver some student schedules. Now we have 1,000 kids on campus, and it's a very complicated schedule because we have a lot of independent art classes like this, where there's only one or two sections of it. We always work really hard with the admin, and the admin supports all these students who are pushing themselves. So if that happens to be your kiddo, or if your kiddo is really excited and tells you about it, that's what they're talking about. Now there is something that happens, and they have to change their schedule. They would go into their first or second period, which is indigo, which may or may not be something that you as a family would like. And so of course, please communicate together, because sometimes having those great relationships in your first and second period, you don't want to lose that for the second semester. But I did want to let you know it's an option for many of these students. And before we play Folly Doodle, I've been here 18 years, and only 5 of those years have we been able to get this far in the book this early. So before we even play it, can you give a big round of applause? One of the mottos we say every day is that you are the success. They're the reason that class goes well. They're the reason that we're able to go through so much curriculum, and I thank you for being wonderful parents and supporting that journey. Here is the final selection of their program. This is Holly Wally Doodle. Chamber Orchestra. The Chamber Orchestra here is mostly in their third year playing. We have some folks in their fourth and fifth year because they've been playing before they came to Castillero. And this is our top ensemble. Tonight we're going to play one piece for you, and it's called the finale from Mozart's 41st Symphony. We might play two pieces for you. We'll see how time goes. There's here and there. And this first selection by Mozart is a full symphony. So that's strings and winds and brass and percussion, but this is an arrangement for a string orchestra. You're going to hear some differences right away. One, what you just heard is called unison playing. What's it called? Unison playing. Yeah, unison. They're all playing the same notes at the same time, which is really important in the beginning because we have to focus on just developing a pulse. We have to develop just making a good sound on the instrument. We don't need the complexity of multiple parts at this stage. But as they get more and more experience, they get to this level where they're playing all different things at the same time. So we have what's called section. So we have a first violin section, a second violin section, a viola section, a cello section, and a bass section. And she's coming on down from the stage. She was up there working with the beginners at Stella. She's coming on down. We'll help her in a moment. And so this first piece here is very fast. There's a lot of notes. And you'll see that we just heard 105 students up on stage. This is our top 31 students. So even though there are fewer of them, you'll still hear a lot of resonance and sound because they've learned how to pull more music out of their instrument. I'm going to make sure that the lights are on back here so we can talk about Layla. And Shane's going to give one quick aid just because the weather has made our string instruments go in and out of tune. So Shane, go ahead and tune the orchestra. So while we're waiting, it takes a lot to set up for bass, large instrument as you can see, music stand and stool. In addition to the Four Seasons concert in the program, you'll see that I conduct the Cambrian Symphony, and Nutcracker season is around the corner. It's a fantastic production, excellent dancing, and a really terrific orchestra. This will be my 10th year conducting the ensemble in downtown San Jose at the CPA Theater, and of course you can find links and tickets everywhere for that. We also have poinsettias in the very front. So there are about 60 poinsettias here. If you're interested in purchasing them for your home or for family or friends, the proceeds will go to help pay for our big LA tour. So the Double O and Chamber Orchestra goes down to LA, and we do Disney recording workshops. So we go into the Disney recording studios, we record Disney music, and then they put our students on the film. Now they don't release that film to the public, but they give it to us. And it's incredible to see Lion King with the score being played by Castillero Middle School. By seeing Toy Story on the screen with Castillero Middle School playing the parts, they get to work with the Disney talent and conductors and composers. They also perform on the Disney stages, and then they have college clinics from the faculty of Cal State Long Beach and Cal State Fullerton. A great trip. So any of those poinsettias, you're helping a great cause, giving these students a once-in-a-lifetime experience as we head down to LA. All good? Okay, here comes Mozart's 41st Symphony, the finale. one extra selection, just looking at the clock. We have enough time to play Baltic Dance for you by Kurt Mosher. This is going to feel the picture dance, the citizens of all the Baltic states celebrating their liberation. This is written back in the late 90s. This music was celebrating a time where freedom was new for many of these people, and you'll feel sort of the multi-poly rhythms that are underneath, emulating and celebrating the dance and folk traditions of the Baltic states. This is Baltic Dance. excuse everybody and wish them a great start to the holiday season. But before we do, violins, please stand up. Put it together for the Basics! As we slow it down, and as musicians, we learn a lot about listening and non-verbal communication. Let's make sure the audience gets to feel some rhythm tonight. And if you would clap along, we're together. How wonderful to be back together and get to share in music. The 8th graders that you heard tonight as 6th graders learned to do this remotely. Learn to play these songs by themselves in a room on a Chromebook. To get to do it the right way is such a joy to look at all these faces. This is wonderful. Welcome to Castillero Orchestra. One more round of applause for your great kids. Concert. There's an order of operations that makes this go smoothly. So I'm going to ask that the TAs of the chamber